Hey everyone! Welcome to episode 10 of the Exploration series. In this series, we pick a familiar favorite and explore some different versions of it from around the world. I'm Amy, and in this episode, we are making our final pit stop on our taco adventure. We started on the California coast way out west, but now we're in Texas, and we're going to make the classic American taco, Tex-Mex style. Now, these tacos were originally made in the 19th century by the Tejano people who lived in the region before Texas became a state. They're a fusion of the more traditional Mexican and the newer, less familiar American ingredients and flavors of the time. The result was something completely new, and what was a regional culinary style has become famous all over the world. This style is best known for bold flavors and cheese. And how can you go wrong with that? So, let's stop talking about these commonly craved late night tacos and get to making them. So the very first thing I did to prepare for this was to harvest some lettuce from my little hydroponic garden. This thing is amazing and we grow lettuce year round from it. With our greens all taken care of, let's get our seasoning mix ready for the meat. To a small bowl, add a teaspoon each of chili powder, ground cumin, Mexican oregano, garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, and kosher salt. Add a half teaspoon of cayenne, although if you want less heat, you can always go a little light on the cayenne. Last, add a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Whisk this all up so it's all combined, set it to the side, and that's it for the seasoning mix. Now let's get the chopping done. We need about 1 cup of diced onion, and I started with a half an onion, but I ended up with more than I needed, so I would say dice up about 1/4 to 1/3 of a medium onion. Set that to the side, and then we need to mince up 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. The recipe I used says 3 cloves, but these were gigantic, so I used 2 and it was perfect. That's it for the chopping, so now we're going to get our next 2 ingredients ready. We need 1 cup of beef broth, stock, or bouillon. I have bouillon at the moment, and that worked just fine. Some hot water, some powder, whisk it all up so the powder's all melted, and that's done. Lastly, we need a half a can of Rotel tomatoes, and I don't have any of that, but Rotel is just petite diced tomatoes and green chilies in a can, and I do have both of those. So I grabbed a can of each and just mixed them all up in a bowl. Since I only need half of this, I'll just pop the rest in the fridge and use it for something else later. Although next time, I'm probably just going to make a double batch of this taco meat so I can use all of it because that beef is amazing. Okay, last but absolutely the most important of all the things, we need 1 pound of ground beef. And if you have ground beef in your fridge, then you're ready to go. But I don't want just any ground beef because I want to try making my own. I must admit here that I have a love-hate relationship with ground meats. I love the flavor, but every single time I try to eat a hamburger or any kind of sausage or even ground chicken nuggets, I always bite down on something that should not be in there, and then I can't eat anything else. So I figured I would give grinding my own meat a chance to see how that works. I tried it with the chicken when we made those dino nuggets, and that turned out great. So let's give this a try with some beef. I have a chuck roast here that I cut up into large pieces and I froze when I bought it. At the time, I was thinking about using it for a stew or something, but it'll work brilliantly for this. I'm trimming off anything I really don't want in my ground beef, like hard pieces of fat, any really stringy fascia type stuff, just anything I don't want to meet up with again when I'm chewing. I also cut everything into much smaller pieces because those big old chunks of meat might give my food processor a run for its money. And since I have recently fallen very much in love with my food processor, I really don't want it to fizzle out on me because I tried to make it do things that it didn't want to do. I do have to say though that trimming off everything I didn't personally want made for some really, really lean ground beef. So if the 93% lean at the store is just not lean enough, then this may be the thing for you too. When I was done trimming up the meat, I added about half of it to the food processor and ground this up using the pulse until it got to a consistency I was happy with. I did the same with the other half, and then I had ground beef. Not as simple as just buying it and dumping it in the pan, but this ground beef was really, really flavorful. It had the best consistency, no weird textures, and no biting down on anything strange. It was fabulous, and I'm gonna start doing this way more often. Now to the stove, and let's make our taco meat. Heat a medium pan over a medium-high heat, and when it's nice and hot, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. When the oil's shimmery, Add the diced onion to the pan and saute the onion until it starts to brown a little on the edges. This should only take about a minute or two since they went into a really hot pan. Next, we need to add the minced garlic and stir this continuously for about 20 to 30 seconds until the garlic gets nice and fragrant. But stir the entire time because garlic burns really easily, and if it burns, it gets really nasty and bitter. Now we're going to add our ground beef and stir this up really well so the garlic is all mixed in with the beef and not sitting at the bottom of the pan getting all nasty and bitter. Cook the meat until it's almost cooked through. Some pink is fine, but we don't want it half raw. Stir it occasionally so it doesn't stick, or at least until the beef starts to render out its fat. However, if you're using a higher fat content ground beef, make sure to spoon out any excess fat before moving on to the next step. You can also use some tongs with a paper towel to soak up excess fat from the pan. A little bit of fat is fine, but we don't want a lot of fat in the pan past this point. When the beef is almost cooked through, add 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour as well as that seasoning mix we mixed up earlier. Stir all of this into the ground beef until the seasonings start to get fragrant. And just like the garlic, it shouldn't take long, maybe about a minute for the seasonings. Pour in our 1 cup of beef broth, stock or bouillon, and be careful of splashes because everything's really hot. Last is the half can of rotel or petite diced tomatoes and green chilies, and I'm just scooping in about half of this bowl. Give everything a gentle stir so it doesn't splash everywhere, and then bring all this up to a simmer. We're going to simmer this uncovered for about 10 to 12 minutes, stirring occasionally until the liquid simmers down and thickens up. The beef should be wet but not runny, and it really shouldn't be dry. Here's what you're looking for in the end. My kitchen smells so good right now, it's ridiculous. This beef is just perfect. Not dry, not runny, beautiful consistency. Now, let's pull this off the heat and put this to the side so we can make our tortillas. Okay, so I have a ton of store-bought tortillas in my pantry because we just go through tortillas like crazy. So we're going to use what we have in the pantry at the moment, and I'm going to try my hand at making hard taco shells at home for the first time ever. Yes, this is the first time I've ever done this, but I'm really happy with the results. I'm also using oil that has been used once before. Did you know that you can reuse fry oil more than once? I usually use oil twice, maybe 3 times before getting rid of it, especially if the oil has only been waiting for a second use for a few days. We need about a ½ inch to maybe an inch of oil. When the oil is about 350 Fahrenheit, place your corn tortilla in the oil and let it bubble for about 10 seconds. Then use either 2 sets of tongs or 1 set of tongs and a spoon or something to hold the tortilla in the shape you want it to be. Now be careful because the tongs will go right on through the tortilla if you hold it too tight, which I did a couple of times. When one side is crispy and browned, flip it over, do the same thing for the other side, and that's it. Hard taco shells at home. I can buy 12 taco shells for about $2 to $3 at the store, or I can buy a 30-pack of yellow corn tortillas for about the same price and fry them up. These shells were crispy and crunchy, but they were not dry at all. They held their shape and they didn't break apart with the slightest wiggle, so I was able to have tacos the whole time and not a bite or two of a taco and the rest is taco salad. And now I'm really excited to try this with some homemade tortillas too. Okay, now to put these together, and we all know how this goes, right? I mean, may as well be a bougie Taco Bell. Amazing Tex-Mex beef on the bottom, but then I'm gonna mix it up a little and put some cheese on right now so it doesn't fall off immediately when I take a bite. And for this I'm using the pre-shredded stuff, because since I'm not making a melted cheese sauce, pre-shredded works just fine. Next is some of our fresh lettuce that we sliced up, and then some diced tomatoes, and we have Tex-Mex tacos. And of course, then I put some more cheese on top, because, well, cheese, and also we want our tacos to look pretty and have that signature taco supreme kind of thing going on. You can eat these just like this, or you can top them with even more stuff. I'm making 3 different kinds here. I made one with some red taco sauce. The next I topped with some green salsa for a fresh tangy zip of flavor and spice. And then the last one I drizzled a crema sauce on. This is the same sauce from the Baja Taco video, and it was so good I just keep making it, and now I just always have some in my fridge. And here they are, Tex-Mex Tacos. These are the tacos we all crave at 3 a.m., that quintessential American taco. The ground meat in these tacos is probably the best that I've ever made, and this is how I'm gonna make ground beef tacos forever now. It has so much flavor, it's savory, it's rich, just a hint of heat from the cayenne. The fresh lettuce and tomato just cool everything down and balance this out perfectly. And those taco shells, I'm never buying those ultra dry boxed shells again. These things were so crispy and crunchy, but they didn't break apart at all. Exactly what you want in a hard taco shell. The sauce is on top. I have to say my favorite was the crema. That sauce is just so good. It added a nice little tang to the taco on top of that bold, really beefy flavor. Thank you for watching Explorations Tex-Mex Style Tacos. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment below if you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned next week because we're starting something entirely new. So we all know it's autumn, and that means that for the next few months there will be holidays, events, fall and winter sports coming up. So many things that we all just love about autumn. And for us Americans, that means football. And where there's football, there's tailgating, and all the food that comes with it. Also, don't miss out on Sundays because every week I share a new cozy, comforting homemade recipe. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Wednesday for some more exploring. Bye!